Hey everybody, this is Denise from Electric Eye Crochet, and today we are going to talk about yarn sizes. It's also known as yarn weight, and there's a whole science behind how many grams that you get in a ball and how many yards and measuring that out. We're not going to get into that right now. What I'm interested in today is talking to you about how big the yarn actually is and when you'll use it. So, this is size number 1. It's super fine. So that's what it says on the label. This is size 2 and this is size 3. The smaller the yarn, generally the smaller the hook. If you want to have, good tight stitches because you're going to make some sort of fabric, whether it's an amigurumi or a piece of clothing, you want to keep the hook size close to the yarn size. And you'll notice that on a lot of these balls of yarn, there are these little knitting needles and crochet hooks, and they tell you what the recommended size is for each size of yarn, which is all fine and good. But here's the beauty is you can do whatever you want. You can use a larger hook with a smaller yarn, and that'll give you a more open weave. That'll give you some holes, which is really nice if you're making a summer top and you'd like, the breeze to come through, like a bathing suit wrap or something. Or if you want something to be super stiff, like an amigurumi doll, and you want it to sort of stand up on its own, you might want to go a hook size smaller than the yarn that you're using. So you get really nice tight stitches that, make a really, really tight fabric that stands up on its own. And that is that for these first 3. Now here's where things get interesting. So we've dealt with size 1, size 2, and size 3. Sometimes it's called DK, sometimes it's called sport, fingerling weight. There's a bunch of different names for it. Just know that there's different sizes and they're going to give you different results. So let's get rid of these. Okay, so you're going to notice something here. Each one of these yarns has got a weight or a size of 4. Now, I don't know if you can notice, but these really look like 3 different sizes. Now, these 2 look pretty close, but this one definitely doesn't. They're all called size 4. So keep in mind that even though there's a numbering system, it's not always 100% reliable, and it's not going to always get you the results that you want. So you're going to have to do a little bit of trial and error and experimenting until you find the yarn that works best for whatever application you're trying to use it for. Yep, so these are all size 4, and this is a mercerized cotton. I'm going to put a description on the screen for you. And I am looking at here. Okay, so this is a mercerized cotton. This is acrylic. And this is a cotton, what we're going to call like a tube-based yarn. And what it really is it's a woven piece of fabric. And it's around, there's some batting in here. It's really hard to see. But there is some, basically sort of like a cotton batting inside, which sort of makes it a little bit puffy. And what's really nice about this tubular yarn is it's fantastic for beginners. And I'm going to show you why. The mercerized cotton is also really nice because it's a woven, there's all these little strands in here are sort of knotted amongst each other, but you can still sort of get in between it and tear it apart. So, for beginners, that can be a little frustrating because your hook can get stuck in these little things. And acrylic, it's even worse because it's only twisted. It's not even woven around itself. It's twisted. So this can come apart really easy. Now, if you get your hook and you start, you're not quite sure what you're doing and you get in there, you can make a big old mess, and nobody wants that. And you'll get super frustrated and you'll not know where your stitches are. What's really great about this, I can't get my hook through it. I can't split it at all. And what's also really nice about it is when you work with it, you can really see your stitches. You can see where the folds are and where the gaps are and stuff. So if you're just starting out and you're trying to figure out how many stitches you have, this tube yarn's really going to be your friend. So I love tube yarn to get started. And now let's move on to the next group of sizes of yarn. Okay, so once again, we've got the same size yarn. This one's a size 5. This one's also a size 5. This one seems a little bit fluffier and a little bit thicker than this one. But if you sort of pull it out, like you're going to work with it and, you've got your crochet in there and you're making stitches, that can come out about the same as this. This is another tubular yarn, but it's a size 5. It's a bit bigger. I'm going to have links to all of these yarns in the notes, so you can get some of these for yourself if any of these look interesting to you. So these are both size 5. Once again, this is a woven one. It's a fluffy one. You'll probably want to use a hook that's a bit bigger with this one. But again, if you're a beginner, you might run into a problem where, you split the yarn, which is all good. You're not going to run into that problem with this. But also know that you're going to get different fabrics, different textures when you work with the tubular yarn versus something more fluffy like this. This is great for baby blankets and sweaters, and this is great for amigurumi or maybe like a throw pillow or something that needs to be a little bit more durable. So that's it for like your basic yarn. All of this stuff is sort of consumer level. It's inexpensive. It's easy to get. I mean, the Woobles yarn is a little more expensive because it's super easy to work with and it's super high demand. But you're going to find that most of these are available at Amazon at reasonable prices, and it's easily accessible. You can find it pretty easy. Now, you're going to wonder, and this is going to happen as you start getting into this whole crochet business, you're going to find that you become addicted to the yarn shop. Or at least I did. I've spent a lot of money in yarn shops, and especially when I first got started, because some of the yarns look so pretty. And you buy them, you don't know what they do, you don't know what you're going to use them for, but it just looks so pretty and it feels so soft that you have to have it. So these two, they're from a company called Malabrigo. And the colors are really sumptuous. Like if you squeeze it, it's got a little bit of a spring to it. It's got a really nice shape. It's super soft. I mean, this is for wearable stuff. This, when you get something that's got a little bit of a sheen to it or some of the color is variegated, this makes really great textures. It's going to show your stitches. So if you're doing something like a cable knit, this is going to look really nice. These are a bit more expensive. And you're going to want to make sure that you know what you're going to make with it before you just go ahead and buy it. I bought this one because I needed to make a look-alike piece for a friend who, was about to become a grandma for the first time, and I wanted to make a stuffed animal for her granddaughter that matched another stuffed animal that her daughter had. And this yarn looked just like the scarf that was on the animal. So that's why I bought this one. This one my friend gave me, and it was just so pretty and just so soft. So when you graduate from beginning and you want to start making things, watch your wallet. This stuff is super addicting, but super sumptuous. And there's a time and a place for it. You'll enjoy this stuff. Just don't go buying it for no reason, or else you're going to really become overwhelmed with how much yarn you have in your house versus what you're actually going to be able to do with it.